So today we are here at Kefri, Central Highlands Ecoregion Research Program, where we are going to learn about how we establish a tree nursery for production of seedlings, both for restoration and also for commercial purposes. So one thing to note is what are some of the factors that you need to consider as a person before establishing a tree nursery. Because tree nursery is key in establishing. The way you raise your seedlings will be determined by how they will survive in the field. So first of all, how do you establish a tree nursery? Before you start a nursery, you need to consider the site. How is your site in terms of, is it accessible? Because you'll be selling seedlings, you'll be bringing in the nursery materials. So the nursery should be accessible all year round. Secondly, water is very important in the nursery. So the nursery should have access to water throughout the year, because the seedlings, of course, they need water from the beginning up to the transplanting age. Another thing you need to consider is the type of soil that you are going to use. For us to raise seedlings, we need very good soils. We can have forest soil, also you can have the farm soils, but the soil should be able to support your seedling to grow with vigor, and also you plant in the field so that they can be able to achieve the objective of planting. What is the other thing that you need to consider when establishing the nursery? Terrain is very important, because in some areas you find it is hilly and you can't establish a nursery in hilly areas. Drainage is very important in the nursery because the seedlings are very young, so that when it is raining, of course, they are not washed away in hilly places, and also the nursery should not be in a place where it is completely flat to avoid flooding during a lot of rains. So what do? We need an area which is gentle sloping for us to have continuous production of seedlings throughout the year. Another thing is in terms of labor, the area that we are going to establish a nursery, of course, production of seedlings involves a lot of labor issues, so you need to have good labor for you to produce your seedlings. And another thing also, you need to consider what the market around your nursery needs. For instance, there are so many species that we raise in the nursery, but depending on the area, what kind of species are required for you to plant in that particular area. So you need to understand the market that is required to allow you to decide on which species you are going to raise in the nursery. And then again, access to good seed. Because for us to raise quality planting material that we are able to achieve the 15 billion tree seeds, we need to have access to quality seeds. So as a farmer or as an entrepreneur, you need to understand where do you get your quality seed. And here at Kefri, this is the only source of good seed that you are all the tree seeds that we have in the country, for all exotic, for all the indigenous, for all the landscaping seedlings that we produce in the Kefri. So that is generally what you need to consider before you establish your nurseries. And there are also very basic structures that you need to have in the nursery. For example, the seed bed where you're going to sow your seeds. It is very important to have very good nursery beds and also good seed beds for germinating the seedlings. Other structures that you need in the nursery, of course, the very good watering system. You need to have greenhouses like where we are now for germination of some difficult to propagate species, because some species, they need warm environment for them to propagate well. They are 1 meter wide, and then from one bed to another is also 1 meter. Unaona hiyo space between the seedling beds to allow movement within the nursery, and also wakati unabeba seedlings na inaitwa wheelbarrow, you are able to navigate. The right size of transplanting is 2 leaves. Tusiwache mpaka ifike 3 leaves huko. This is the right size of transplanting. We use the dippler to help you uproot the seedlings.